So building on AWS is incredibly powerful, right? But let's be real for a second. Connecting your application to services like CloudWatch, it can be a total grind. All that boilerplate API code you have to write, there is a much, much smarter way. And today we're going to dive into exactly that. AWS SDKs. I mean, does this feel familiar? You're stuck writing the same authentication logic, the same HTTP request code over and over and over again. It's tedious, it's repetitive, and it gets in the way of building the cool stuff you actually want to build. If you're nodding your head right now, you are definitely in the right place. Before we get to the easy way, let's just wallow in the pain of the hard way for a moment. Manually making API calls is, well, it's a nightmare. First, you got to handle all the complex, super-critical security and authentication. Then, you have to manually build every single API request, every header, every parameter, and finally, you've got to parse whatever raw JSON or XML the server decides to throw back at you. You make one tiny mistake anywhere in that chain, and poof, your application just breaks. So, what's the alternative? What's the solution? It is the AWS SDK, the Software Development Kit. This is basically AWS's official answer to this whole problem. Just think of it as a toolkit, specifically for your programming language, that gives you everything you need right out of the box. A pre-built API library, a ton of code examples, and all the documentation. It's pretty much the official easy button. Honestly, this slide says it all. Look at the left side. That's you drowning in manual work. You're juggling authentication, building requests, parsing responses, handling errors. It's a mess. Now look at the right. That's the SDK way. All of that complexity just gets bundled up and abstracted away, often into a single, simple command. The difference in your effort and your sanity is just massive. I absolutely love this analogy. An SDK is basically an expert translator. The AWS API speaks its own very specific, very powerful, but also very complex language. Now, instead of you having to become fluent in every single little detail, the SDK handles that conversation for you. You just tell it what you want in your language, like Python or JavaScript, and it takes care of the rest, fluently and correctly. And you know, AWS is seriously committed to this. That number you see here, 14, that's the number of major languages that have officially supported SDKs and tools. So this isn't some niche thing. It's a core part of the AWS developer experience, which means, yeah, your favorite language is probably on the list. And of course, we're talking about all the heavy hitters here. You've got Python with its famous Bodo 3 library. You've got JavaScript for all your web and Node.js stuff, Java, Go, .NET. The list just keeps going. The whole point is that AWS meets you right where you already are, in the language you already know and love. And the scope here is just huge. I mean, look at this list. It covers everything from high-performance languages like C++ and Rust to mobile with Swift, and even enterprise tools like SAP ABAP. But you know what the most important column on this table is? It's the one on the right. Every single one of these comes with code examples to get you up and running immediately. This quote from AWS really just sums up the entire mission perfectly. The goal is to make it easier for you, the developer, to build in your preferred language. It's a whole package deal. The API gives you the functions, the code examples show you how to use them, and the documentation explains the why behind it all. It's all designed to make your job easier. So you're probably thinking, okay, I'm sold. Where do I start? The crucial thing to remember is you don't have to start from a blank page. You're ready to build right now, and the absolute best place to begin is with those code examples we just talked about. They give you a practical, hands-on way to see exactly how to talk to a service like CloudWatch using the SDK. Okay, but let's play devil's advocate. What if you have a really specific, maybe even kind of weird use case? You've searched the docs, you've looked around, but there's just no example that quite matches what you're trying to build. This happens, for sure, but it is definitely not a dead end. And here's something really cool that you might not know. AWS actually wants to hear from you. If you can't find a code example for what you need, you can officially request one. Seriously. At the bottom of their documentation pages, there's a little provide feedback link. You can use that to tell them what's missing. You can literally influence the resources that are available for the entire developer community. How cool is that? So let's just boil this all down. What's the core takeaway here? Why should you be using an SDK? Well, first, you save a massive amount of development time. Second, you dramatically reduce complexity and the risk of those costly, annoying errors. Third, you get to completely eliminate all that boring boilerplate code. And what does all that mean? It means you get to focus on what actually matters, building the awesome features for your application. So, as we wrap this up, the question really isn't if you should use an SDK. The real question is, which one are you going to use to bring your next great idea to life? The tools are there, the examples are ready, and the path to building faster and smarter on AWS is right in front of you.